Hi everybody, this is Taz. I'm coming to you from my bedroom today just so we can have a casual conversation about why I started to wear wigs and why I do wig videos. You'll notice today that I am wearing a gift from God. This is what I was born with. Not quite actually. If anybody has ever heard my journey into hair loss, I was 19 or 20 years old when I had my first gynecologist visit, and I remember the nurse practitioner telling me that when they did an exam, that my ovaries felt like sandpaper. There was just so many cysts that it made the exterior of the ovary very, very rough. And I really didn't know what that meant exactly. But I always knew that my cycles were very erratic, that I had some acne issues at certain times, and then of course my chronic thinning hair, I feel like was also one of the byproducts of having polycystic ovaries. Back in the 80s, the early 80s, when I was in high school, I participated in all the big hair culture that was around back then. It was so much fun, and that's kind of where my troubles began, with late teens, early adulthood. My first son was born when I was 25 years old, and after he was born, about a month after that, I lost all my hair. I just completely went bald. So that got me started with all the dermatologists and the doctors, and they ordered a lot of different tests and things like that, and couldn't really find anything other than just hormonal fluctuation issues. So my hair eventually grew back. It wasn't quite back to normal, but it grew back. I can't tell you how devastating it was to be a new mother and just feel very, very self-conscious. You want to show off your new baby and your home to all the relatives and friends that want to come over, but I didn't feel like socializing at all. I was terribly, terribly self-conscious. And then my second son was born 6 years later, and once again, about a month after I had him, my hair started to come out, and it come out in handfuls. So that tells me that it was probably hormonal, just that abrupt hormone shift at childbirth sort of precipitated that shedding event that I experienced about a month after that. But then after that, it just never, like I said, it never grew back the same. It was always very fine, thin. I had a very advanced receding hairline despite my age. And then it just started to become more frequent, these bouts of shedding. My head would itch real bad, my scalp would itch real bad, and I just knew it was coming. And in about a week or two after that heavy itching period, the hair would fall out. I would find it on my pillow, in my brush, and my comb. And it became more frequent, and every time the hair started to grow back, it just got finer and thinner, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was devastated. I feel like it held me back a lot socially, just because I was generally a very bubbly person. I enjoyed socializing, but the hair loss completely changed that. I just became a homebody. Just let me stay home with my kids. I don't need to go out. I don't need to participate in social events. And this is just something I'm going to have to live with. I sort of resigned myself to that. Then a few years back, I decided I was going to try wigs. I mean, everything that I read about wigs, anything I ever knew about wigs, and this just proves to you how ignorant people are unless they have some experience with them. There was a wig shop up in Fairlawn, Ohio that I passed on my way to Cleveland to work every day, and I decided one day I was going to stop by and see what this was all about. Because if, like so many people who haven't tried wigs, your experience has been what your grandmother used to wear years and years ago. I just pictured these bulbous, tight, bird's nest types of contraptions that you put on your head, and they were uncomfortable and hot and looked awful. So that's kind of what I had in mind. But I was absolutely at my wit's end. I needed to do something. I was in my mid-40s and I needed to do something so that I could have joy in the rest of my years. I didn't want to be afraid to go out. I didn't want to be afraid to go to my kids' events because somebody might mention or whisper that, oh, look at her, she doesn't have much hair, and boy, did she age badly, and things like that. So I was real self-conscious, and it did take a toll on my self-esteem. I was usually a very confident person. In the arena of work, I always was. My career was very good to me, and despite hair loss issues, that was just a place I could be myself. So I either buried myself in work or buried myself in my home. Didn't have much social life because of that. But I didn't want that to last. I wanted to do something to help myself. So I stopped at the wig shop. And after I tried on 3 or 4 wigs, I decided on one. It wasn't the best one for me, I'm sure of it. It was just a place to start. And so I bought this wig, paid way too much for it. And I got home and we were going to be going out to dinner that night with my husband's family. And I can remember them coming over to pick us up to take us to dinner. I was wearing my wig, and I remember crawling into the back seat, and my mother-in-law turned around and she looked at me and she said, "You're wearing a wig." And that was so hard for me. I was embarrassed. I somehow, by wearing that wig and having me being called out and spotted for it, made me feel like a failure in a way, like just acknowledging the faults that I have in my own hair and the fact that I couldn't find a wig that wasn't inconspicuous enough. But I held my head high. I did not let her know it bothered me. I know she didn't mean it that way. And the next day I got up in the morning and I put that wig on and I went to work. I have a very good working group of friends that were very supportive. I told them all that it was a wig. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of my journey. And I knew that the first wig wasn't going to be the last. And so I just went on a mission to learn all I could about wigs and try to find the right one for me. And years later, I can still tell you this: I haven't found the one. And I know why that is. It's because I don't feel like having my hair the same way every single day. So what might be the one for me today might not be the one for me tomorrow. And that's the beauty and flexibility of being able to wear the wigs, is that you can be who you want to be for that particular day. Enjoy what you have on and just go out into the world with confidence. So after that first wig, I just absolutely did not look back. I taught myself. I learned a lot. I bought wigs. It was very expensive. I can remember begging my husband to let me use the tax return so that I could order a bunch of wigs and see which ones I liked and take a look at them and touch them and explore them and figure out what a lace front is and a monotap and how each of them felt and what kind of length and texture and that looked good on me. So I had an absolute blast doing that. So thank God for some of the online wig retailers and all the promotions and sales that are out there, because I think every woman should be able to afford a wig, because it gives you so much confidence. So even though I don't define myself by my hair, and I never did, it took away that obstacle. I no longer fear social situations. Sometimes when I'm invited to do something, still to this day, where I have to mark my calendar, and I know there's going to be a lot of people, say a wedding or something, I get this little bit of fear that bubbles up, because I think to myself, am I going to have hair? What is my situation going to be like when this event comes? And what if it's extremely humid and the weather is bad and they're going to see right to my scalp, and oh my gosh. So but then I quickly realized, like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I have a closet full of wigs that I can choose from depending on how I feel that day, and I'm going to look amazing in every single one of them. And I just feel like I want to break down and cry. I mean, there's just, it has given me my life back. And when I say that, that might strike some people a little strange. But if you've gone through this in any way, you know what that feels like. So I'm a huge proponent of wigs, and that kind of leads me into why I do wig videos. When I used to wear wigs out, I would get stopped on the street literally. Oh my gosh, I love your haircut, you know, and they ask me questions about it. And at this point, I say, you know what, this is a wig. And here's the brand, here's the style, and here's where you can go get it. Because I realized that there are so many reasons why people wear wigs. You can have alopecia, you can have polycystic ovarian syndrome. There's a lot of different reasons why people wear wigs. You could wear wigs just because the weather is bad and you know you just want to have a good hair day. You have a special event. And so I am so pleased to be able to lead people in the right direction. And that's really what I want to accomplish with my videos. I think the only selfish component to doing videos isn't out of vanity so much as that I am so darn excited when I get a new wig and I love it and I just want to share it with the world, because I know that my audience gets it. You know, I could say to my sister, who has a beautiful natural head of hair, by the way, so lucky, I could say to her, you know, I just got this wig, it's got a lace front, it's got a monotab, you know, the texture's amazing, it feels so good on my head. And she'll say, she'll say, oh, that's good. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it like you guys do. So I appreciate the connection that I have with an audience that gets it and that knows what wig wearing is all about. And to all the newbies out there, not to be afraid, you know, just to help eliminate the fear factor by telling my story and putting the wigs out there online. And then there really is a deep desire within me to help people. I went through this wig journey basically alone. I didn't know where to turn for resources. There wasn't a lot of education out there, and I was self-taught. It took a lot of time and a lot of money, and I'm lucky that I had the ability to do that. I know that not every woman does. So I think that every woman deserves to feel beautiful, and I believe that you should do whatever it takes to eliminate some of the obstacles to feeling beautiful and confident. So if I can put wig videos out there, giving you my opinion of the wigs, you won't like every single one of them. I won't look great in every single one of them. But you've got those videos to look at. And rather than, or maybe spending money and time on a wig that isn't right for you, that could have been avoided should I not have posted that video on it. So I know there's a lot of wig videos out there. And I'm so thankful for them. I said, I have to do this. I have to do this. So I'm proud and pleased to be able to share that with all of you. I am a huge proponent of self-expression. Be who you are. Let your wigs and your wardrobe and your jewelry and your life just reflect who you are. You know, if it's conventional or not, who cares? Just be who you are and let it out. And wigs have been that expression for me. I'm a very artistic person, even though I'm in finance, go figure. And this has been a creative outlet for me, believe it or not, is just exploring the wigs and doing videos and things like that. But I know that it's helping you, and I know you all appreciate having a look at some of these wig styles and brands. I will share as many of those as I can. And like I said, every single one of these videos, you're not going to like. It may not be the wig for you, but it might help that one person. And if that's the case, that I am so happy with that. I just appreciate everybody's individuality, and trust me, if for whatever reason you decide to wear wigs or a body piercing or tattoo or certain kind of clothing or makeup, I am completely supportive of that. I think everybody deserves to explore themselves in that way and not be afraid to do it. So unless you're hurting somebody else, I am in total encouragement and support of experimenting with expression, self-expression. So that's it, guys. That's my wig journey. That's my motivation for creating wig videos. And I'm coming to you in the most humble way today because I don't even think my sister has seen my real hair in years. And sis, if you're watching right now, this is what it looks like. Yeah, you were lucky. I used to color it real blonde just because I felt like the lighter color would hide the fact that I'm bald, you know, and thin. So I just haven't highlighted or colored it in many years. So this is it. And I don't go to a beauty shop at all. My old hairdresser, she would have had to have a couple clients to replace me because I spent a lot of money trying to camouflage my thin, fine hair. So I'm just so happy that I found wigs, and I know that everybody who cares about me feels the same way. My husband is extremely supportive of my kids. I have two, well, I had two, when I started wearing wigs, I had two teenage boys, and they can be brutal, brutally honest, and they will test you. And there wasn't one single time when they said, Mom, I just don't think it looks good. It looks terrible, you're wearing a wig. That never, ever happened. Now, unless I asked them their honest opinion, they would never say that it looked good, or gee, Mom, I like that one. But there was never any negative comments. And believe me, if there was anything negative about the experience, they would have certainly put it out there. So thanks, guys, for watching and listening. And I feel very close to all of you because we do share a similar journey. And God bless you all. Thank you.